Okay, let's have a look at the answers to these puzzles. First, let's tackle the easy one. Black should play and mate in 1. Let's light up the squares, please, computer. Thank you. How many of these squares are safe for the white king? The rook covers 2 squares, but the bishops also cover these squares, so this leaves the rook free. The dark squared bishop also covers 1 more square, leaving h3 as the only safe square. Can black attack along the h-file? Yes, with the rook. Medium puzzle now, and it's black to play and mate in 3. Let's have a look at the squares next to the white king. Remember, we have to check squares with black pieces on, because the white king might be able to take them. In this case, the black knight is defended by the black pawn. The queen is in charge of the g-file, and the knight covers f1. But e1 and e2 are safe at the moment. Did you notice that the black knight and queen both attack g2? It's a safe square for the black queen. White has to move the king to e1. Okay then, now what? The obvious move is queen takes rook. White has to move the king back onto the second rank. So how does black finish the game? The black knight could defend the queen on either of these 2 squares right next to the white king. But which one is best? f1 is best. The knight defends the queen, and the pawn defends the knight, and the only other square that the queen can't cover. And if the white king had moved to e2 instead of f2, it wouldn't have made any difference. And finally the hard puzzle, white to play and mate in 3. And these 2 white moves are nearly checkmate, but black has both threats covered. And if the white queen could get to g8, the black rook would have to take it, trapping the black king in the corner, allowing the white knight to give smothered mate. How can we get the queen to g8? This is the quickest way, but can't the black queen take it? Remember, the black queen is doing an important job. Let's see what would happen. Now white has 2 choices. This knight move works because the queen is pinned, and the other choice is to use the rook. Okay, so black can't take the white queen. And there's no other way of stopping the white queen moving to g8. So what else can black do to stop white's plan? Black has to move the g-pawn, so that the white knight can't give smothered mate. And it may as well take the knight. Okay, so the smothered mate plan doesn't work anymore. Where should white move the queen now? White could take black's queen, but there is a better option. White threatens queen takes pawn checkmate. And black has 4 ways to stop this. Let's go through them quickly. White could have taken the rook with the queen as well.